I was gonna suggest
I was gonna say that.
No, I thought maybe because Oracle counteracts it a little bit with the Fate's Edict, but versus Timbersaw, you're all this magic damage, and you also scale really hard too into later stage.
Yes.
I love this SF pick.
I need one name.
SF.
SF.
Enigma.
Enigma.
Leshrac.
All right, let's find out what's going to happen. Third game to this lower bracket series. Elimination Online, TNC Liquid. We'll be right with you.
It is time for Game 3 of TNC versus Liquid, a series that was really starting to heat up towards the end of that Game 2. Both teams starting to just step it up. You could feel that everyone is putting everything into the series as they need to do so. Their last chance now, this decisive Game 3 to see who goes home and who gets to continue their run here at the Leipzig Major. I'm ODPixel, joined by Lizard. Lizard, looking at this one, what sort of stands out to you first as sort of the big thing to watch out for?
What stands out super hard is the fact that Liquid is playing 3 different strategies and 3 completely different playstyles in 3 games of the series. In the first game, they dominated super hard versus TNC, but TNC adapted with that Chen plus Abaddon pick in the second game, and they're playing something that's in a very similar style in this last game of the series too. They have Omni, they have Chen, SF and Slark. It's super similar playstyle, super similar strategy. They want to push, they want to snowball, and they want to take objectives early on, while Liquid, just like Fogg said, just like Cap said, they're super greedy. Taiga, he has played this Enigma multiple times back in the day. I played versus this position 4 Enigma. It's so sneaky. It goes behind your tier 2, somewhere around your jungle, farms up a lot, and then snipes your couriers. That's why they have that ward. If you see the Dire Observer ward, the first one spotted, look where it is. Like, this is super strange, but it's because of Taiga. They understand exactly what this boy wants to be doing.
It's going to be very interesting to see how these lanes go. Already down bottom. Koifa is going to be able to zap the damage here away from KP and harass him back a little bit. And of course, this switch around. You know, you're taking Koifa to the side lanes because you know that doing so is going to mean you're always going to force a Razor into a melee matchup. So you are going to have that edge as the Razor, and you're putting Mickey in the mid lane. So switching things around a little bit, Liquid, and especially it's going to be interesting to watch this mid lane because the last 2 games, Koifa, he did struggle against Armel's mid performance. We're going to see how well Mickey's able to do.
Exactly. They're not switching up these lanes because Koifa lost to Armel. That's not the fact. The fact is Razor crushes. He stomps Omni Knight, and that's why they're doing it. This Omni Knight is going to need a lot of help, or just completely sack him and let him creep skip. That's all he can do. Razor is considered one of the best counters to that hero, and usually when Omni Knight was picked early on in this patch, Razor was instantly banned. The only question is, how well does Razor fit this Liquid's lineup? Because if you look at them, they don't have this standard full-on hard carry that can scale super later on. But they do have Taiga. And Enigma, in my opinion, if you have nothing to break that BKB black hole, is the strongest late game carry in the game.
I mean, I think you said it. I think looking at Liquid's lineup, it's not going to be easy because, yeah, there isn't that big sort of beefy carry hero that's going to be that late game physical DPS, whereas TNC having this SF and Slark, it seems terrifying. If this early game goes anything just as good as even or better for TNC, this game's going to be very hard for Liquid, I feel, to carry it through. Gabby and Armel, they have the potential to be absolute beasts, especially considering what we've seen from these 2 core players so far this series.
One thing that I really notice is different on the side of Liquid is the fact that Boxy isn't playing a hero that's reactive. was gonna make a pun
I was gonna say,
there
it's got the
about
armor,
reactive
yeah.
armor, yeah, haha. But no, my point is this Timbersaw is going to be that tank, that frontliner in the mid game, so he might be able to slow down TNC's advances around that 12-13 minute mark when you want to take those first tier ones. Maybe that will work out for them. Maybe that will buy enough time for Taiga to come online with that Black Hole, with the mech or Blink Dagger, whatever he opts to go for first.
Now, 2-minute rune goes the way of Mickey, but it's not going to be anything that changes the lane. No sort of DD or Arcane or Haste that could allow for plays, just the Invis, which is always the bit of a disappointment to find as that mid laner. Top lane, an attempt onto Boxy.
He's already level 2 though. It's hard, he has the armor. Level 3 is obviously his biggest power spike, but already they can't take him down. Even as these 3 heroes, as most damage is coming from right clicks, and that's just giving him more armor and more regions. So Boxy is fine.
I think the lane that you've got to watch out for plays to be made around is certainly that mid lane. Any sort of movement for the Shaker, a Fisher setup, and Armel's going to be able to finish off the Lesh rat with a couple of raises. So the Lesh has to be careful mid. Mickey cannot afford to step out of position any times that Shaker starts sneaking across the map.
Just a few weeks ago when the patch just hit, SF was being picked constantly, all the time on this mid lane. It did fall out of favor a little bit because of heroes such as Viper, obviously, and a couple of others, Magnuses. But as you just said, one Shaker rotation with a good fissure and those razors will clean anyone up.
Again, a bit of annoyance in the mid lane. Tims, he's able to go around, take Mickey's courier away for a minute. Now, Armel knows if he could get aggressive, hit a few more raises, keep this Lesh low, it's going to be hard to make plays.
Taiga that gets the kill.
Taiga, he was jungling around in the neighborhood, able to throw down a Midnight Pulse and make sure that Tims is pushed away.
And look at that, instantly he has enough gold for Arcane Boots. This boost for an Enigma that's already jungling is amazing. Like, he's going to scale really well, because once you get that first mana regioning item, you just farm much, much faster. And Taiga, he's just feeling blessed at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, they're so far with these first few minutes, Liquid are getting away with the greed. Having that Enigma, as you say, they've got 4 heroes farming away very, very nicely.
You can see the Shaker right here. He's messing with the Lesh. He's moving around him, forcing him to play with him. Oh, and they play with Slark as well.
They do. They get there, able to just straight up nuke Gabby down. Gabby's sitting a little too low, and the combination of the Welling Death, the Purifying Flames, it's a lot of bursts. Slark's got to be careful.
Two Whirling Deaths connected, took a lot of his HP, and then Oracle just handled him with his nukes.
Mid lane, Tims still continues to just look for the setup, or at the least just keep Mickey on his toes. Mickey has to be careful how he steps forward. A couple of raises connect, but Armel's not able to get in for a third. Still just keeping the Lesh low, making sure that Armel has the space to continue to dominate the lane, which he is doing once again, as is SF. 25 for 12 against the 14 for 1 in that mid lane. We saw what Armel was able to do last game after he got that sort of a start. It's going to be scary again for Liquid this time round. This SF can take over the game.
KP is doing a really nice thing here, creep skipping. He's doing the best that he can on this bottom lane versus a Razor. He's found what, 15 CS so far, level 4 and 3/4. I think he's doing a really good job considering versus that Razor. It's almost impossible to farm on the lane.
Bit of a go on mid, looking for Armel. He has got a Fairy Fire, and the one charges isn't enough to keep him alive. The Malefice wears off. He turns with the Razors, trying to clean up the Eidolons, but it won't keep him alive. Mickey gets in with another hit from the Lightning and claims the kill on Armel.
That's Taiga.
That's Taiga. He's doing so much.
The thing is, you don't expect this. You don't expect Enigma to be jungling you, and then ganking you from that jungle around 5-minute mark. You just don't expect it. And Armel, he wasn't careful and he falls to Malefice, and then the follow-up from the Split Earth.
3-0, Liquid, with that slight gold advantage at the moment because of the fact they're getting away with this greed. KP, they're going to head over, try and deal with him. As you say, KP was doing the best thing he could, just cutting the creep wave, but Mickey and Taiga, they wrap around, looking to punish him. Getting KP's courier as well in the midst of it. KP will just try and survive for as long as he can. Will still inevitably fall as Liquid and Taiga in particular. This Enigma incredibly active in these first opening minutes of this match.
This Enigma is very active, but this Enigma is also the reason why this Omni Knight is almost level 6 and has a lot of farm even though he's alone. Razor, he has to focus on the lane, he has to focus on the farm, and no one else can stop the Omni Knight. That's the problem. Even though Enigma is farming, we are going to see if that's worth it or not for them later on.
Gabby, I was thinking about trying to commit onto Boxy there. The helper March coming in with the Mud Golems, offered a bit of damage and lockdown, but not enough that Gabby wanted to commit, and he's fallen foul to the burst potential of Boxy and Insane before. He's got to be careful it doesn't happen again. Another bit of an attempt. He's got a few essence shift stacks stacking up, jumps in. Boxy puts the mango, again they turn. It's such a dangerous lane. Gabby's got to be more careful than that, as a second time he gets nuked down by this combo of Liquid.
How is he not expecting those moves? I'm actually super surprised that he's even trying to go for that. Maybe they were communicating, and maybe Chen said, all right, I'm going to dominate one more creep, then the Mud Golems are going to reappear and I'll have 2 more stuns, but it's still a very, very dangerous maneuver.
They cannot afford to keep underestimating this lane, Gabby.
Specifically because they have this SF, but remember, a few weeks ago when SF was constantly picked, it's because of Drow Rangers, Vengeful Spirits, because of these heroes that would make this SF
And look who's in position again, Tiger. He just happens to be in the neighborhood to find another.
Always in the neighborhood.
He's always there. This Enigma is having a dream start. He's second highest on the net worth. Because of all these kills he's been getting involved in. Gabby up top, he's going to make another attempt onto the Timber. They do have Armel setting up in position, lines up the raises. Boxy, Timber chains across. Have they got enough to kill him? They have. Armel, another raise connects. And Armel will finally put a stop to Boxy's lead in that top lane.
They had to rotate. They had to rotate and stop that Timber Saw, because you really don't want to have a fat Timber Saw comes mid-game, because you won't be able to take him down. You don't also have any natural vessel builders on the side of TNC. That's also a problem, and you literally, when you look at their damage, it's mostly physical.
You see Armel as well was able to pick up a very nice stack from the jungle that was prepared up there by that top lane. So Armel continues to stay at top. The problem for TNC being though that there's these 4 heroes of Liquid that are all so farmed off the back of these lanes. As they just haven't been able to make as many moves as they would hope for. TNC, they're down 6-1. Tiger's game continues to be free. The fact that they've had this jungle Enigma, it's not been punished at all so far. Mid lane, Tims catches Mikke with the setup. Another kill that Armel's able to get involved with.
These 2 heroes are really making doing a lot of work for the TNC side. It's the SF and the Earthshaker. They're doing really well. The rest of them, however, are struggling on these lanes. KP, he's also found his farm, but he needs multiple heroes to play around him so that they can take down objectives, so that they have a clear path for victory for these snowbally kind of tactics in the mid game. But right now, there's only SF that's able to do that with him. Even Chen is struggling because the top lane wasn't really great, and you won't have a lot of levels. You won't have those creeps on time. And even if you do, there's a lot of spells on the side of Liquid this time around. Remember, that last game, they couldn't even creep skip, they couldn't clear waves. This time around, you have everything you need to deal with the Chen.
There's the blink. It's an early blink pickup here, so Tiger...
So early.
He's going to commit for this item first up. He knows that they have this advantage at the moment, Liquid, and he can just get even more involved now. He has the black hole ready. He'll look to jump in and commit. I just have to be sort of sure that the Earthshaker's not around to have a confident time of going for it. Tims having to use the Fisher to hold back Quaifa. Quaifa's going to chase with a static link. Tims is dead. Quaifa making the move from the bottom lane towards mid. Boxy cuts down. Poor old March, and he's going to look over towards Gabby. Gabby's going to commit, take the outpost here, back in their favor, and we'll be able to secure one of them and get the XP burst for his team.
That's good, at least getting that experience. Also on the bottom lane, they will take the second outpost too, which means Liquid won't get that experience burst, but they're already healthy enough when it comes to experience.
A Tiger, he's going to go in, he's going to commit, the black hole's there, locking him down. Have they got the follow burst? Yes, they have. Boxy cuts him across.
So much AoE versus this Slark. He needs a BKB, and he needs his stat. He needs it right now. You have Leshrac versus you. You have Timbersaw. You have Enigma with that black hole. It's a difficult game to be this Slark, especially now. He's died, what, 2-3 times off of the laning stage?
I mean, it's just terrifying. You know, this Tiger Enigma has just crushed this early game harder than any Enigma I've seen before. He's been just everywhere and making so many plays. It's TNC, they're struggling to keep up with the pressure that Tiger's applying.
And if you remember, they even put down vision for Tiger. They tried to contest him, but he then got that first blood and adapted to the state of the game so well that he's just crushing everything. If you're TNC right now, you need a different game plan. You need to play around this SF 24/7 because he's on top of the network charts and he's the only one that can do any sort of work on TNC. I believe Omni Knight and SF, they need to be a tandem right now. They need to be some magical duo that can actually bring them back into the game, because Stark is definitely not going to do it. He's suffering too hard at the moment.
Yeah, this game is definitely shifting onto Armel's shoulders for TNC, which is not necessarily a bad thing. Armel, he's carried the games before from his mid lane performance. Mid on the river, March is found, Liquid clean up another.
Insania stopped that TP with the Purge, by the way, if you didn't see, and they cleaned up
Armel.
Shen.
Armel's going to need some help. He's got to have TP backup coming in. They cannot afford to lose their SF. He's their powerful hero at the moment. They need Armel's game to continue to be clean if they want to have a hope against this early pressure that Liquid's ramping up with.
They need to split the map. They need to split the map right now. They need to send someone down bottom to pressure that tier 2 to prevent Liquid from completely occupying their jungle and pressuring this Slark even further. They cannot fight Team Liquid right now. Their team fight just isn't good enough.
Armel's build exactly as required for the situation. Drums into the BKB. He knows that he's got to be involved as Liquid. The way that they're bringing the fights to TNC, they're showing no signs of slowing down. TNC has to have the items ready to just get Armel in a position where he can commit with the Requiem, line up the raises, and start to fight back against Liquid.
I don't know if Gabby is going to find a lot of farm the way he's playing around that bottom side of the map. You have basically one small camp and one hard camp to work with. You can't go back towards the Ancients, and they're camping around that creep wave down bottom, so he's literally finding no network in the last 2 minutes of the game, and these are the crucial minutes of the game in which he needs to excel. He needs to find defusal as soon as possible.
We'll see what Liquid want to do next. They are going to have Black Hole again pretty shortly.
Look at the build from Slark too. He's going Diffusal into Aghanims. He's not even going for that BKB. And even though I called that BKB earlier, I said that it's important that he needs it. If he gets it, I think they're too far behind. And they're just going to kite that BKB, and after that, there will just not be enough damage on the side of TNC.
Well, here we have TNC ready to make a move with the smoke at the same time. They are ready on Liquid, and they're smoking TNC into the timing of the Black Hole. Tiger's got the ultimate back up again. TNC have to be careful how they look for the action. Liquid are going to lead in, wrap around from behind as they enter TNC's jungle. We'll see what sort of a core they can find. Armel is the closest at the moment. If they head down south, Liquid, they could find the opportunity to take Armel down immediately. See what they can get a jump on. KP, he'll be the focus. They'll go in. No need to commit the Black Hole for this one. KP pots the GA. He's TPing out. They've got the route to cancel it. That's one down.
Yep.
The rest of TNC, they've got to get out of there. They definitely cannot afford to fight Liquid when they have a number disadvantage.
Insania with that Purge, very clever positioning, prevents Omni Knight. Omni Knight did that well too. Popped GA, then heavily graced himself to clear the Enigma's stun, but Insania was there on point to prevent him from TPing back to base. But it's really good that they didn't commit that Black Hole, because now they can continue taking down objectives. Now they can pressure the tier 2 or the tier 2 on top if they wanted to. Look at this, you don't really see a Chen lineup. You play the way they're playing. They're completely on the defensive side. They haven't moved on the Radiant side of the map in the last 7 minutes at least.
It's very hard for them to do so. They're behind, and they know TNC as a team, they've just got to sit back, make space for the Slark, Gabby to climb back into the action, get that BKB done on Armel, so they have at least some sort of a chance to turn up to the fights and fight into this heavy magical damage output that Liquid are sporting at this point.
I love Boxy's item build as well. He went for Yules first. It's not only giving you that dispel, and most importantly, it makes you more aggressive. He realized one bracer is enough. They can't kill me. They can, but it's really difficult. And that Yules is going to allow him to catch people.
Into the jungle they go, Liquid, TNC. And watching for the sidelines is Mickey. He's able to catch out the Shaker here. Tims is in trouble, and March has to run. Quaitfa's going to try and continue this chase. As March, he's dying here to the ultimate. The physical output from Quaitfa takes down a second as Liquid, they're starting to roll them over. Bottom lane, the Black Hole. Tiger's got another catch, but Gabby will get the chance to get out of it. Tims drops the echo. Can they turn TNC? They can! The Razes take down the two of them. As TNC, they strike back. Tims is able to find that setup, find that turnaround. The Black Hole commitment from Liquid, it wasn't enough to kill Gabby. The timing was there for TNC to get in and find themselves some action.
I can't blame Liquid for trying that move. It was a good move, but what happened there? Timbersaw goes onto that Slark and uses Yules to disable the Omni Knight. But Omni Knight was close enough with the purification. He heals the Slark, so Slark survives. At the same time, because Shaker died in his own jungle, he buybacks, TP's bottom, and instantly after that TP is done, he echoes them.
Tims, he's he really has been sort of the hero, the player to make these incredible plays in so many games, and especially when it comes to his shaker. As you say, that buyback heads-up play, Tim sees the opportunity to turn this game back towards the chance of TNC getting involved and getting on top. Top lane though, Tims is in trouble. A Fisher block, excellent Fisher block, stops Quake from being able to enter this area of the map.
But he has no TP. Quake knows it.
He's gonna hunt. He's gonna go the wrong way though, and Tims sneaks out. Oh, very nicely done from Tims. He really is the man to watch this game.
He's on fire at the moment. From now on, every time I'm feeding, I'm not creating space anymore. I'm just doing what Tims is usually doing. I'm planning for the future, for that buyback kill somewhere.
They are starting to collapse in on top though. Tims does have to be wary. Liquid got Insane with their eyes on him, March by his side. Liquid, they're thinking about maybe diving in onto this tier to at least spamming Tims down. TP's coming in. Gabby's ready to help the team out with the Diffuser Blade done.
Oh,
Tims cancels the TP out from Insania and sets up a free kill for Gabby and Armel to get involved with.
You can see that they're finally setting themselves free. They're making good moves all off of that shaker on the bottom lane, and now these moves on the top lane. Not catching that shaker, that juke from Tims was so important because it allowed his teammates to go there to help him to free the jungle on the dire side. Now finally Slark can find some space, find some farm there.
And in the river, they're trying to have a go on to Armel.
It's this guy everywhere. Tims is just...
He's been such a strong power against the way that Liquid want to play right now. This shaker is slowing things down, and that is a huge scare for Liquid. As we said at the start, you look at TNC's heroes, if they're able to sort of get out of this rough patch of the game with this Slark and Shadow Fiend, they are going to be able to out-carry the carry heroes that Liquid have, because Liquid, they just don't have that traditional carry. This SF and Slark are going to scale infinitely better.
They don't. And Gabby, he can carry any single team with his Slark. He's just so skilled on this hero. TNC is an SCA powerhouse, but Liquid, they're so strong when it comes to team fights. Look at them. You have Enigma with the Black Hole. You have Leshrac. You have Razor and Timber. They're later on, once that BKB is on Taiga, it's going to be very difficult to prevent them from just picking one target off in that Black Hole.
Radiant are scanning.
I do still like, they're going to have some good burst sustain as sort of the counterplay. As you say, when he's got the BKB, it's hard to stop the Black Hole, but as long as the Omni and the Chen don't get caught in it, the Hand of God, the GA is just stopping any additional physical damage coming out from Liquid's heroes, whilst the lineup of TNC is controlled by the Black Hole. Can play around it nicely.
That's a really good point, because what does a Slark like? He likes prolonged team fights. He likes to go in and out, and Omni-Knight and Chen are going to allow him to do that even better. He doesn't necessarily need that BKB because he will have Heavenly's Grace from Omni-Knight. He will have that help to perhaps at least use his Dark Pact.
Let's see what plays they go for next. Tiger just a few hundred gold away from his BKB. We saw just now Tims found the funds to get his Blink Dagger done. We've seen what he's been able to do without a Blink, so with that dagger, you've got to be prepared for Tims getting that jump on you every single time.
Boxy also is going for his Halberd. He should have it very soon. Used on SF or Slark, I think it's just the same. It's just as good.
Gabby's doing a good job of being able to find the space to catch back up. He had such a rough start. That lane was incredibly crushing for him against the Timber and the Oracle combo that was able to kill him off pretty much those 3 times earlier. Ever since that, Gabby's kept his gaming clean, and the Aghanims, he's already halfway into the item.
His game is clean, but he's still lower net worth than 4 heroes on the side of Liquid. Taiga is literally a 4th core for Liquid right now. With his BKB completed, he's flying out. The next item that he wants is Refresher. He completely understands that TNC, they have no ways of dealing with the Black Hole BKB. And because of that, he's itemizing properly for this match. Oh, smoke.
It's time to go. Tims, as I say, he has the Blink.
BK is deep.
He's going to be the focus. There we have Gabby starting to poke. Tims in with the Echo. They want to blow him up. They will. And again, Tims, he's lining up these spells perfectly. The Fisher, it stopped Insania from being able to get in range with the Oracle to offer any sort of safety. Tims, he's just playing everything perfectly this match.
I mean, I can't blame Insania. He was close enough, but Leshrac, he just died way too quickly. You can't react on that. It's just way too difficult. Great smoke. They didn't get any objectives. They didn't take a tier 1 or even tier 2 on the bottom lane, but they took down that Leshrac, and I don't think that Liquid is going to try and fight without him.
Oh,
So
Boxy.
close.
Not quite able to get the vision there with the yours to cancel the TP. Tims is out. Another smoke picked up. Armel's got his force, so an extra way to save himself and also his teammates.
BKB and Force, I think Force also versus the Razor, right? It's pretty good. Get away from him.
I mean, in this 4K lead, you know, it's not looking nearly as scary as it did 10 minutes ago because Liquid, they built it up quickly, but TNC, they very much stabilized the game.
I love the clumsiness on Koikwa. I also like his itemization overall. He went BKB drums. He's now going for S and Y. He's going to be that hard carry later on, the right clicker. It's not really a role that Razor fits too well, but if you itemize him properly, he can do quite a lot of damage later on. Slark almost has his Aghanims too.
I'll expect TNC to wait for that, as well as the Echo Slam to come back online for Tims before they feel the need to rush for any players. I say with their lineup, I don't think they're going to feel the heat really at the moment. It's more on Liquid to keep the plays going so they can continue to hold this lead. If they start falling behind TNC's draft, it's going to be a tough game for Liquid. So Liquid, they're out, they're hunting. Gabby's going to turn, start to poke towards Boxy. Static Link shoes, Gabby's trying to bounce away, finally able to break it. It's sliding far enough away. Now Koifa's going to turn towards KP. Yule's control from Boxy being used, so they'll try and commit onto this Omni Knight, but he's just a little too tanky with the Pike turn, the Heavenly Grace. KP can simply walk away. They do not have enough control there on the front lines to hold the Omni Knight in place.
Every time Koikwa does this, you have to think about it as a distraction. He knows that he won't take a target down, but you have to be thinking Taiga is there somewhere lurking with the smoke. He's behind. If you make a move on Koikwa, he has that BKB, and Enigma will jump with his own BKB, with that black hole. You're doomed. You can't make a move on him. That's why it's so easy for him to pressure them.
Armel starting to clean up the mid lane, but Liquid, as you say, they are ready to jump. TNC very much ready with the counter plays, though. It's hard for Tiger to get that perfect black hole. And the way that TNC are spreading out, only really the opportunity to go for a black hole on one, and that won't be enough to guarantee Liquid a team fight win.
This play usually works well, but not versus Divine Protection, so Mike is going to waste a little bit of his time. Armel smoked up together with his teammates.
Koifa's going to look to turn. Using the clumsy net, a 4-star separates Armel from Liquid, but Liquid, they will continue to siege onto this tower. TNC struggling to push them off the tier 2. They may just have to let this outer one go, and they will. The tier 2 falls. Liquid claim another objective and continue to force TNC back to the high ground.
It's such a difficult tower to defend. Multiple reasons. You're playing versus Enigma, and there are so many different ways from which Taiga can pounce. You can smoke up from one way. If you don't find that Enigma first, you can't fight. That's it. Because he could be somewhere in the trees hiding, waiting to pounce on top of you to counterplay your movement.
Tims. So eyeing them up, they have good wall coverage around this area, TNC. Still a little too scary for them to jump into, but I think, as I say, TNC know they don't need to be the aggressive ones here. As long as space is there for Gabby to finish off his items, and indeed he will. Aghanims is done, he just needs to grab that point booster.
I'm not even kidding when I say that Taiga is the real carry now for Liquid. I believe that refresher is going to be like the most important item that they can get later on in the game. Your cores are Lash, Timber, and Razor. They're the strongest right now. Later on, they're also decent, but not as SF, not as Slark.
Alright, they're looking for the setup onto Armel. Again, the 4-star, and Armel's going to run to the high ground. The static link will not remain as Armel's able to break the distance. They'll turn their attention towards an easier kill, and they'll get it. March will be blown up outside of the high ground.
What happened there? Slark jumped in and out. He tried to help him, but it wasn't going to work. The Chen really isn't really the best target that you could get, but still, you're pressuring them. You're closing them inside of their own base, and now you're pressuring high ground too.
Let's see what they can do with this. They've got to be prepared for the jumps, both sides. You see Tims, he's sitting back, so is Tiger. Both teams.
They just want the tower. That's all.
He's getting it low. Armel starting to head in, cleans up the siege creep. The tier 3 still alive for now.
They want the tower because after that they can take the shrine and it opens up Rosh. It becomes so much easier to play this game strategically.
Another Yule set up, Mickey. Gets the follow-up, he gets the 4-star off in time though, and now Gabby, he's ready to fight. Pounces in, Tiger looks for the black hole, it's onto the one of them. It's got to kill Gabby off the duration of the hand of God though, and Gabby, the GA, Gabby's fine, pops the Shattered Hearts and he's out. The BKB's the black hole for Liquid, it didn't matter, Liquid could not get the kill.
And this is it for TNC, instantly counter-attack.
Jumps in straight away, Mickey, saved by Insania's false promise. Liquid, can they keep this fight going? They're looking towards Gabby, but Gabby's starting to focus down here as he feels strong with the backup provided by KP. Jump forward again. Quaifa low on the mana. Boxy cuts across with the Fisher. Lines up for the raises. Quaifa's getting low. He's got to run. As now they jump in. Gabby, he feels so strong right now as this Slark. He knows that Liquid are scared. They're trying to run. And they will be able to do so. Liquid get everyone away. TNC, they force Liquid back so hard as Liquid was starting to see the problems of their draft. It's so hard for Liquid to push on now and get to the high ground now that TNC have these core items done on their position 1 and 2.
It's core items and it's the baits. It's the way they set up these team fights. It's chaotic, but they knew what they were doing. Gabby, he knew he was getting BKB Black Hole there, but he relied on his Omni Knight. He believed in him. He believed in the Omni Knight and the Chen to save him from that Black Hole. And that's exactly what they did. What can Liquid do after that? They don't have any damage. They don't have any team fight. They're forced to run back. And TNC instantly struck on
lane. Insania tries to poke her the way. They'll lose him.
They need to play. They need to play super fast on the side of
Gabby.
TNC.
He's chasing on for more. Tiger, he's got the BKB TP out. Nothing to stop it. But again, another BKB charge used defensively.
Rosh.
Liquid starting to play on the back foot now. TNC's strength is starting to be shown. They'll go for Roshan. They know there's no black hole.
They know there's no black hole. They know there's no BKB on Enigma. Maybe Liquid can come here and try to delay it until they have black hole up again, but I don't think so. It looks like they're giving it away, and that might put them in a really, really bad situation, because then, even after you use these big spells, you won't be able to kill them twice.
They're heading in. TNC, they'll step out of the pit, but it may be just because TNC's ready to try and fight them. They'll look to jump in. Gabby's separated very far from the rest of the team. He's committing. He's got the Shadow Dance. He's straight onto the Enigma. Tiger in trouble. He's bounced up. The burst in from the mech, and again, Insania with the saves. He'll separate Enigma from the rest of them as Tiger will live. Gabby pounces away. BKB popped by Ahmed. He's revving up the Requiem, looking to push them back. Gives space for March. March pops the stick, but March will fall. Gabby looks to Boxy, but the halberd from the Timber disarms him for now. The Heavenly Grace means it doesn't last for long. As Gabby, he's still good to fight. Tries to go in. Mickey holds him back with the Yules. Has the timing with the stun, but no, Gabby's out already with the pounce. Another pounce away as Gabby will back off.
This Aghanim on Slark is just letting him live. It's just letting him escape from such bad decisions, from such bad positioning. He was on the high ground, on the Radiant high ground. He was fighting into Lash, Enigma, and I believe Timbersaw. He dropped super, super low, but because of Chen, he manages to use his ulti and pounce away. They almost got him. He was really low, but they didn't have that black hole. And I still think that this was really well done by Liquid. They didn't really get anything out of it, but at least they delayed Roshan a little bit. However, Slark is already back in.
Yeah, they're just going to go straight back in. TNC know that it's so hard for Liquid to come back over it. Sure, they now have the black hole, Liquid.
But they have the black hole. They should fight. But they don't know about this, it seems. They aren't checking it. They need to run to that pit straight away.
Roche going down. They'll scout it out. They're heading over. Liquid, can they make a jump in time? Quaifa,
they're here on time.
Starting the action off. Gabby looks to pounce off to the side. Boxy gets on top of them, but another pounce. He's up to the high ground. He's safe. Liquid will now walk into the pit themselves. They're looking to try and steal this Roche away. Gabby, straight in, commit. Tiger, BKB black hole. Can they kill Gabby in time? Roche is dead. Liquid get the Roche kill. They get the Aegis. And they get Gabby. They kill off the Slark. And Liquid's ready to move on for more. They'll surround KP. Gabby, he's buying back two. He's in. The Echo, the Fissure onto 4. Tim's with the counter play. They've set up for killing off both Razor and Enigma. And TNC, they're not done yet. They see the opportunity to move in for more. Gabby pounces in onto the left. He's in trouble. The buyback coming out from Liquid. Quaifa returning to the fray, but he's in with the stats.
What can you do,
He's starting
Quaifa?
to steal the damage of Armel. The Requiem build up. Armel pushes them back. Can they continue to fight this Liquid? Mickey leads in, looks for the stun, won't find it. TNC a little too speedy as they get up to the high ground. Gabby, you know that he wants to keep this fight going. He's already turning, looks for the opportunity to get in. He's buffed up by the Heavenly Grace. He's in onto Quaifa. They know if they can kill Quaifa, it's going to be a dieback. Another pounce for Gabby. Tim's again. The Fissure locks down the two of them. Gabby's in onto Mickey. Mickey turns with the stun. The Bloodstone heal. Is it going to be enough? He uses up, but he's surrounded. Taken out. Mickey will fall. And TNC, they're hunting for more. They're pushing Liquid all the way back to the base. You know that Gabby, he was ready to pounce in.
And Gabby is always ready to pounce in. That's how this guy plays Slark, and that's how he should be playing. Even in that rush pit, he pounces straight in. He tries to steal the Aegis, but there's Taiga with the perfect black hole. They take down the Slark, but he buybacks. He doesn't hesitate. He buybacks, pours to the shrine. That's maybe one of the things that Liquid didn't do too well. They didn't finish off the tier 3. They didn't finish off the shrine because of that. And that's why Slark, it was so simple for him to re-engage. All things said and done, they did force a buyback on Stark. they bought back on Koikwa, but I think forcing a buyback on Slark is a little bit more important, because maybe in the next black hole, if you take him down, it just gives you a huge opportunity to take a side at least, or some big objective. And look at him, just amazing.
I mean, it just depends, because I feel like this Slark it's so hard, much harder to kill the Slark than it is for TNC to kill Koikwa. Koikwa's got to be so much more careful. The amount of sustain that TNC has, it just outdoes what the Oracle can provide alone. This Omni Knight, this Chen, the heals that are being thrown out the way of Gabby keep him so strong.
And also that buyback from Koikwa, it didn't really do a lot. He bought back, and maybe he thought that with that buyback he's going to repel them away from Mickey, from his Lash Rack, but they understood, what's that Razor going to do? He doesn't have a BKB right now. He's buying back, he's porting into 5 of us. He can just run afterwards. He's going for that Butterfly next, which will help him, but he's going to need some time until he gets that Butterfly. He just bought back, and yeah, his item progression is delayed.
You know, you see now, TNC, they've got that 1k lead. You saw on the network graph how this game has swung back into TNC's favor, and this was something that I felt was sort of foreshadowed the whole game, considering TNC's draft. This game is now very hard for Liquid. Their heroes just, you cannot commit as confidently with their cores as you can with TNC's. This Slark and SF are only going to get bigger and bigger, whilst as Liquid's cores, some of them are going to start to flatline.
Also the way in which SF is itemizing RML, he understands that this Slark's job is to jump in and bait the black hole, bait the spells, create chaos, something like a PL the way he's played right now. But SF, he's going to be the one dealing the extra amount of damage necessary to take these targets down. He's going for Daedalus. He's going for that tower build. He's just going to stand there and attack. He's just going to stand and right click.
I mean, and there it is. That's the big one you're looking for. Tiger's refresher is done.
I think this is probably an item with most impact in this game, overall, on both teams. Let's see what Taiga can do with it, however.
It's been so hard so far for him. We've seen it every single time. He's only really been able to get the one-man black holes because TNC are positioning themselves in a way that makes it almost impossible for Tiger to find a perfect opportunity.
Gabby always jumps in and baits that black hole on himself, and then it's Chen and Omni Knight that follow up with heals.
Radiant are scanning.
And the move from Liquid's going to be made. They want to hit them hard with this refresher or pick up on Tiger. See if TNC fall foul to it. TNC themselves, they're smoked up. They're now on Liquid's high ground. TNC with a favorable position as they go for the long sweep around. Boxy's going to show himself. They'll now know what's up Boxy. He's going to be in trouble here. He needs help, and he needs it now. Mickey comes across Tiger. The black hole again. It's only onto this poor old Slark, but is it a poor old Slark at all? I don't think it is. A second black hole. Is that enough?
This time, they got him.
They get Gabby. The refresher play from Tiger is enough, and now they can cut across and look to go for more without Gabby. TNC that lost their big old carry, and now they're outnumbered. March will fall as well. They're looking for TP out. Can they cancel it in time? No, they do not have the vision. Armel will escape, but Tiger gets the game back, going the way of Liquid. They've got a good window now. As you say, it was all going to be down to whether Gabby or Koikwa would fall. That refresher pickup from Tiger, the commitment, they get the slug, and now they can look to pressure high ground.
They need to go on this high ground, but they also have to be wary of this SF. He hits super hard. Those crits coming from him are almost took down Boxy in a couple of seconds.
And even with the Slark gone, TNC still have good ways to hold the high ground. One of the big factors of Liquid, well, they pretty much the factor of winning that fight was the double black holes, and without them,
they don't have it.
It's hard to fight TNC again, even if they have the numbers.
They have to find a way to put Koikwa on SF. He needs to suck out that damage so that the SF cannot... Look at him, he's literally a second tower here. He's just heavenly graced, and he's sitting up front. He's like, come at me, brah.
Because this seems to be the real test now for Liquid. Yes, we've seen they can do it. They can kill Gabby with 2 black holes. But what can they achieve off the back of it? Who's going to be that force that enables them to do something spectacular when they don't have Tiger's game impact? As time will be brought for Gabby to respawn, the tier 3 will not be lost. TNC able to hold. And he just goes to show Tiger's just really got his work cut out. The double black holes will do it. He's got to catch at least 2.
Look at his net worth. He's third on the net worth charts, right behind his Lash Rack. He's even higher than the Razor. This player is just amazing. Taiga, I've been watching him for a few years now, and he's just been getting better and better. I don't even see the skill ceiling for him.
Ever since he sort of held Liquid in the competition with that incredible defense a few days back, he's certainly kept his players at the same level. And this time around, once again, Tiger, the driving force for why Liquid are able to have this chance of getting closer to potentially closing up the game. It's, as I say, it's not easy. This game's still incredibly close. 36 minutes in, this 5K lead that can swing around in the matter of one single team fight, as we've seen before.
I love the Aeon disc as well. It will help. It will help him, just in case Shaker finds him, just in case someone jumps on top of him first, he gets initiated on. That Aeon disc will help him to pop that BKB and turn back. I think maybe if you're TNC, you can think about something like an Abyssal on Slark perhaps, but no, he's going for that Skadi. It will help him, but remember, still, Midnight Pulse, it's percentage based, he still will take down Slark super easily.
Well, they go quite for... It's kind of far from the rest of his team. They're going to see him. I think they saw the plasma field clip the creeps as March passed by, so they know that Quakefor is around, but... They're going to see him, they're bringing Gabby, now they're ready to show. Quakefor pots the BKB, he's got to run, get back to the rest of his team. And he's backing off. Tim's, he's blocked him off. He's blocked him off, and Box is going to go to Tiger! It's the 3-man black hole! It's the 3-man black hole from Tiger, and it's enough to kill the Jet! To kill the end of the day on Tiger! This man got that Enigma, it's perfect! He's leading the other two! It's an echo, is it enough though? Do they have the follow-up? TNC, they do not! It's already too late with Armel dead, there's no physical follow-up. Tims will fall, and Tiger...
They did manage to kill Quakefor though. At least that, and he has no buyback. He has no buyback. At least that's something. Shaker has his. Slark is still alive. He's trying to push out creeps immediately to stop this push coming from Liquid, because they can definitely do it.
We'll see it again. It looked to be a chance for TNC to separate Quakefor. It really is sort of the game of the game of the force. Tims and Tiger, they're doing their best to make these big brain plays, but Tiger, with the farm that he has, this double black hole onto the 3. At this point, catching 3 of them. The GA, there's no saves. Chen's caught in it. He cannot get the hand of conversation now. They're up to the high ground. They're pushing in. Tims buys back. Gabby's got to be careful there. Only defending with the 3 against the 4 of them. 15 seconds before March is back in the game. Can Liquid finally get a tier 3 away from the high ground of TNC?
We have fortification. We have Gabby getting those tags, hitting Timbersaw. Oh, we have a puppy paws. Just lag. Mid pounds on Insania though. That's a cool situation to pause here. Look at that.
He's getting it. He's going to have BKB in literally a second, you can see there. So he's going to be good to commit here, Gabby.
He has false promise.
Onto Insania. Lotus Orb does reflect the Yules here. Fisher used by Tims to try and separate the rest of Liquid. They're going to go in again. They continue to commit. They know there's no Quakefor. Armel's going to be back in 10 seconds. So Gabby, BKB pop, another pounce in. He's building up the essence shift stacks as Mickey. He's starting to fall low. Liquid, they may just have to bail on him. He goes for the false promise save, but there's no saving this Leshrac. As Mickey, he surely will pop. He tries to keep it away. They've got something to cancel it. They do. Tims is in. Another enchant totem slam down. As Liquid, they'll lose Mickey. And another defense from TNC. They may have lost that huge fight around the Roshan pit, but Liquid, after that push, they do not get a tier 3 tower. TNC defend the base.
Liquid, they have to be very, very careful right now, because Slark has accumulated so many stacks right now, and he wants either kills or perhaps Rosh. And I think Roshan is just as good.
And it's these timings. TNC, I mean, they know, we're all seeing at the moment, if there is not the double black hole, it's very hard for Liquid to fight. It's all about that timing for Liquid. Anytime that TNC knows it's not available for Tiger, they can get away for playing for these objectives, despite being a little bit behind in goal.
Remember though, every single time they fought so far, it was advantageous for Liquid. They either had that Aegis or they had 2 black holes. Right now, Slark took it. He has that Aegis. How do you kill him? Even with the double black hole, it's the best counter to it. It's the best counter that they can make to this Enigma. It's to give Aegis to Slark, to Gabby, and make him go up front. As long as he doesn't feed away the Aegis to some other spells. As long as... If you're Liquid, you need to find a way to kill him without using black holes. It's as simple as that. If you don't, your teamfight is lost.
Yeah, Liquid win fights off the back of a black hole. If there's no black hole, and if TNC finds some way to get on top of Tiger, how do Liquid take a fight? We're yet to see them win a fight without those double black hole plays. The problem obviously for TNC has been that Tiger, he's been excellent in finding them every single time that it's been needed.
They need more damage. They need more damage from their cores. Leshrac and Razor, they need to step it up Boxy as well. Tiger can't carry this on his own. But it's much easier said than done. I don't even know what you itemize on that Razor any longer. With that buyback really set him back. And even though Leshrac, yeah, he has a ton, but look, Razor, he has had this butterfly queued up for good 5 minutes, I believe.
Armel closing in on his next big item, the Satanic. Very, very close to be picked up. Here's that play that Liquid will hunt for once more. Refresher and Black Hole ready to go. Tiger's got the combo.
Maybe they can find the SF instead of the Slark.
Let's see what they can get. Gabby will show it's in the best interest of TNC to separate themselves. Make sure Tiger does not get an opportunity to catch multiple heroes. He knows that he cannot commit on Gabby with Gabby having that Aegis. They'll jump away, quite for trying to finish off the Chen alone. March, Lotus Orb helping him out, and March will get away. They'll turn towards KP. They have the lockdown. Armel moves in, the BKB, the Requiem revved up, pushes the back. Tiger, he gets the two of them. KP and Armel are caught in the black hole, but where's the follow-up? It's not quite there. Armel's still alive. KP will live, and now on the side, they're pushing away Insania. Gabby makes sure that Insania cannot get over to the rest of them. They do lose Armel, though. They're finally able to get the big kill on the SF. Again, it's these black holes that are doing it. They do kill a core.
Very interesting. He didn't pick up that gem. I guess he was afraid of the second black hole. Was it used twice, actually? It might have been on Armel,
I think it probably was right to get that kill onto the SF.
Overall, Gabby played that quite well. When SF got caught, he separated himself from him. He didn't get baited. He didn't have that tunnel vision to go on the Razor. Instead, he moved away. He went on the background. He went for the Insania kill instead. Black hole almost caught him too, but he had good map vision, he had good teamfight control.
And again, it really is those questions. The black hole plays there, they kill a core, but what can Liquid do with that kill? It's very hard for them. As this game goes on, both Armel and Gabby, they're reaching the top. They're soon to be the biggest cores on the map.
This is good right now, Odi, because they're playing versus Aegis. So if you're killing this SF, you're delaying time. You can't fight. You can't even think about objectives right now because you need that Aegis to expire. And if you're killing SF, that's also kind of good strategically because you're preventing them from grouping up with that Aegis and utilizing it, taking any big objectives such as your high ground.
And as we saw there, so they didn't need to use the Refresher actually, so he has got a backup black hole ready to pop during this 80 seconds when he's waiting, well 60 seconds now when he's waiting for the natural cooldown. So Liquid can look to make another play.
That's probably why he didn't pick up that gem as well. He just left it on the ground and instantly pounced away. He was afraid of Taiga following up. Holy Locket on Chen. You don't really see this item quite often, only on Wisp a couple of times, but now picked up on Chen as well. Obviously, he's going to buff up his healing potential by quite a lot. Witless Shackle on Lash. We have Princess Knife, I believe, as well. That could come in handy in this kind of a game.
But again, it's every time they don't have the double black hole, Liquid fall back into this passive element of farming and
oh, Ninja Gear is so good here. I believe you give it to Taiga. He has, well, honestly, he didn't really struggle at finding good black holes, so maybe you can give it to someone else. But if you give it to Taiga, it's going to be even easier for him to be well prepared for a team fight. He's going to be even smoked always around the edges of it, and then when he wants to engage, he won't be seen.
Oh, they go
Oracle
again.
is also good. I think Oracle is maybe even better.
Double black hole, ready to go. We've seen it a fair few times. They've got to find at least 2 kills. One core was not enough for them to do anything off the back of it. Let's see what they can get. Gabby,
Aegis is reclaimed.
He leads in. This time it could hurt TNC if Gabby's not too careful.
Aegis is gone, remember.
Gets the pounce off in time. Backing off. Mickey's trying to charge in. It's still hard to fight into this with TNC holding the high ground.
I think Liquid was scared a little bit there. I think they could have maybe initiated. Taiga maybe could have pounced that Slark. He knew that the Aegis was reclaimed. They let him go way too easily.
Gabby showing the middle, BK. Very hard for him to set up on this Slark. The constant Heavenly Grace buff, there's not a lot of time to try and lead in onto Gabby.
Look at how more confident they are right now, though. Look at how Liquid is opening up across the map instantly after that Aegis has been reclaimed. They understand that they have the superior team fight. Also, one more thing, though, that they have to be very careful about are the buybacks on TNC. If you take a good fight and you use all your spells, but they buy back and kill you off, you won't be able to defend your high ground when the counterattack happens. There's so many. This is a strategical game right now. You have.
Let's see, it was the smoke once more from Liquid. They're desperate to try and go for this team fight, this game-winning play with the black holes. They're into the jungle. Armel's going to be the one to be focused upon first. He gets the force off. He's separated away. Liquid look at a wrap around. They'll get the stat in going, but there's loads of Zorba's up, so no damage being stolen at all. Gabby trying to force Tiger to pop his spells, pop his BKB. The black hole, it only catches Gabby. Gabby is so tanky, and with the GA Gabby, he's pretty much fine and good to go. The Hex is out, but oh no, it's time to kill him. They got Gabby. Can they get more? They'll turn towards KP. Gabby has a buyback. He's going to use it. He knows the one black hole's down. There is the chance for a second, but in fact, no, he's out of mana. Tiger, he's not got much else to offer. He has to TP out. They've got to escape. Now they'll look to chase as they can see if they can get the grab. Insania's the focus. They pounce in. Another disarm. Insania's retreating. Tiger, he's got that second black hole. If he can get Gabby and KP, this could be the game-winning play for Liquid. The pressure's on for Tiger. They'll head in. Tiger blinks away, waiting for that angle. TNC's got to be careful. If it's a dieback from Gabby or KP, the game could very well be over. He's got one black hole to make the magic happen with Boxy focusing March in the river. Glimmer buys him some time, but they'll chase him out quite for being separated as they'll lose March. Liquid sweep back across towards the bottom. Another buyback. March knows that he has to be in the game. He's got to be prepared for the fight that Liquid is looking to bring, and Liquid will not be able to find it.
The BKBs are back up, but I think if you're Liquid, maybe you'll wait for that refresher. Knowing Team Liquid and knowing how disciplined they are, they can wait it out.
Yeah, because they've got this window now.
They have a huge window, yeah.
Gabby and KP being the two big buybacks that are on cooldown. You've got a 5-minute window. You're easily going to be able to wait out a couple of minutes, get the double black hole back ready to go, and then look for the play. If you get one, or if you get two of these heroes, the game's probably going to be over. If you get one, it may be good enough. They've just got to wait on these timings and execute it perfectly once more. For TNC, they've just got to keep themselves out of trouble for the whole period where their buybacks aren't available.
So far, they have done a really good job when it comes to baiting out that black hole and playing around Gabby, at least the first one. This is the first situation in the game in which Gabby dies to one single black hole. He was on the low ground. I believe that he thought that saved him, and because of that, he didn't really bounce away. But that buyback, I think it hurt them quite a lot. Now the Roshan will respawn very soon too, and it's still going to be in that window of opportunity for Liquid. And that window is basically no buyback on March, on Slark. Timbersaw going for that Aghanims. They're realizing that they need that extra amount of damage to take down Slark in the black hole.
Towards the mid, Armel is going to start to just get a bit of action going. They've got to be a little careful here. Armel goes to the Hurricane Pipe play, does get disarmed. It's now starting to retreat as Liquid move forward, pushing TNC back. Armel turns once more towards Mickey, but Mickey's got a fair bit of armor with the Shaco. He's very tanky on the Lesh. That's Liquid. Now back off. The timing there, as we saw it come up on the screen. Roshan will be the next objective that's in the game in just under 30 seconds. That'll be the focus. Liquid can look to take it. You see there, those timings. They're the big ones to watch out for. 5 minutes on the Slark and the Omni Knight.
You can see that the play is literally out push mid. I know it sounds banal, but you basically just stand mid and out push these creeps so that at least they give you some info, and then you can have a couple of wards around this Rosh. This is probably the most important fight that's upcoming. Roshan has that Aghanims, has Aegis, has Cheese. Slark has no buyback. This is make it or break it for Liquid, and they smoked up.
They've got the double black hole. Once more.
Oh, the illusion.
Can they find the Slark or the Omni? That's the focus. Tiger, he's been keeping it so cool under the pressure that he's been under this whole game. He just needs one more of those plays, and then Liquid will be in the clear.
Actually, if you look at the buybacks of TNC, it's only DSF that has one.
Let's see what they can do. Liquid hanging on the high ground. Tiger is going to head away for now. We'll now start to regroup with the rest of them. Abyssal Blade is done for Gabby. So an extra way to get in. Obviously, if he's not the one caught in the black hole, he will be able to jump in with that Abyssal active to cancel the black hole through the BKB.
I was expecting that Abyss a little bit earlier, perhaps, from him in the game, before that refresher hit on Taiga.
And Armel's in. Fisher from Tim's trying to block them off, but Boxy, he's already got the wraparound. Armel thrown up once more by the Yules. They're looking for that combo. The stun connects. He gets the force off. Armel's in trouble, though. He needs heals, and he needs it now. They'll pump him up with the purification. Armel will be separated. As he stands strong, he feels incredibly powerful. With that Satanic, he knows that he can do this. Trade hits back.
Satanic, Daedalus, he's just very strong.
And they're buying time, TNC. Now that just 3 minutes left. 3 minutes left for them to get through this tough time of no buybacks.
Also, Gabby is showing himself on this bottom lane. He knows that the Liquid's next plan is to go rush. So he's going to perhaps try to outpush bottom, force someone to defend it. And he can always bounce back and get to the rush pit.
And they don't want to let Liquid get a free rush. He's continuing to poke. They're playing with fire, TNC, but they know that it has to be done. Liquid's hero is very tanky right now. So no quick kills for TNC. Liquid into the pit. They're bringing it low.
They need to do something about this right now.
BKB, Requiem, opens the end, Black Hole! He got the kill! He got the Aegis! Tim's going for a time, goes to the first Black Hole, the second Black Hole, but he doesn't catch anyone! This is not the Black Hole Tiger was looking for! And now Gabby can go to work, a pounce away, breaks the static link, Mickey's forced back, Tim's, he's setting up the chance for TNC to get this fight going their way! Gabby gets Insania, they move over towards the pit, a buyback from Insania comes into play, Tiger, he's got nothing with the Black Hole, but Gabby is dead! The AoE damage from Mickey, he kills off the slug. He's dead for 2 minutes. No buyback.
All right, this is now the true test. Can SF actually defend this time around as well? Everyone is up on Liquid. I believe... Who took the Aghanims? I didn't even see that.
Who grabbed the blessing? Because Quaifa was able to grab the blessing. Right. We saw Tim's got the kill. Tim's was able to take the Aegis. But this is the big loss for TNC. The fact that Gabby died, despite the fact that the Black Holes were already being used, he overcommitted. The damage being kicked out by Boxy and Mickey was now enough.
How do you stop this now? You have the talent on Lesh, you have the new Aghanims on Koikwa. These towers, these buildings are going to melt.
This is going to be a hard hold for TNC. That painful minute that the buybacks are not quite ready for. Armel, he jumped on, he's Armel, he possibly gave me, but he's dead. He has buyback himself. But Liquid, with that kill, they'll take the top brags. They can't go for the Megas though. Bottom, there's a tier 2. They're going to try and go for the game end. Can TNC with the 3 members push them off? They're certainly going to try their darndest.
They're not doing enough damage. They're not repelling them. Marsh is back up very soon, but there's still 49 seconds before Sark is back.
Can TNC by this time? 1 tier 4's gone. They're on towards the second. Armel being buffed up by KP in this attempt to hold. March back in the game. And it looks like TNC may be buying enough time. 30 seconds now.
Taiga, Black Hole back up in 3 seconds.
See if he can go for a big one. Armel, he's in trouble. Tiger is in, but it could be Black Hole. The hand have got heal. Armel in trouble. Armel will fall.
Get that as well. That's game.
With them done it, but Tim's is a 4-man echo, but it's an echo too late. GG is called, and Liquid, they will take this game and take the series. There's the man, Tiger.
Tiger, what's a player?
It was all on him. It was not an easy game to play. His Black Holes, they had to be perfect. And he did. He brought it every single time.
I told you, Taiga, he's the one that has to carry this game.
Yeah.
And he definitely did it with that refresher. He knew exactly how he needed to itemize for this kind of a match. He knew that they had absolutely nothing to stop his Black Holes. There you go, Blitz, my man.
I mean, that game...
He's went from this victory, dude.
It was not an easy victory for Liquid, absolutely. TNC, their carries, it was all about these timings. It was all going to be down to whether or not they would have the buybacks available and if Liquid could bring the plays when it counted. They did. They've done it. They'll move on. And unfortunately for TNC, this is the end of the road here for them. But what a fantastic series they gave us.
What a fantastic Dota. I don't know, TNC, man, they can't feel bad. They played so well. After that rough start, they're the strongest in the SCA. They're proving it time after time. Such a powerhouse. Played so well, but then again, Taiga, he was just a little bit better.
I mean, this is sort of what at least the second game where I really feel like Taiga, he's he deserves sort of the lion's share of whatever prize money they end up winning, because Tiger, he's doing so much for Liquid in this run. He keeps them in, wins them this game, and they'll be moving forward. And unfortunately, we have to say goodbye to TNC. Liquid take the series 2-1.
Rick Gaming Esports, professional esports housemaker.
of Tigers and Enigma. What a game that was. Let's break down third game of the series, Far Cap Grand. That was madness.
Yeah, it really was. It was crazy, right? Because there wasn't that many kills like throughout the mid game, but they were just team fighting over and over. But you have this Omni Knight, you can't kill anyone over there. On the other side, you have this Enigma, and you can't do anything there either. And I don't know. They came out on top because those double black holes in those Roche fights.
Yep. I know that someone was shaking in his boots backstage, and it was the person that we're going to talk to right now. Could you please play in William Barrett? Hello.
What up?
Hello.